Mic is off. Hey, he's back on Twitter? Unless this is another guy with viewers and that also gambles and is also right wing and also has that avatar. I'm guessing that is Eggy. How long has this account been up? Oh, last year, huh? Not following all that many people, not followed by that many people. Oh, there's a I think I just saw you pop up right there, Scroat. Snort. Hope you're doing alright, my brother. Yeah, I wanna do a little SNODWARS today, a little open dialogue. Let's see if you two will let us even do this. Last time it started doing that bull crap where you know, it's like one bit of music that was a bit too copywritten. Then every instance of music after that is like, shut down. So we'll try to keep it loose today, nothing as focused on the music or just chilling. We're gonna get intelligent here, we're gonna talk about the brain. No. Well, after my first weed alert of the day, we will talk about... Well, I kind of wanted to talk about this. I just saw this Stone Toss tweet. What was the edgiest view South Park espoused that wasn't a tacit approval of the current status quo? Which is, you know, so it's like you gotta ignore all of history. Or maybe you weren't paying attention, maybe you didn't watch South Park growing up. You would think Stone Toss would. And you know, even though it is kind of true that some of the stuff that they would put in that show was, you know, approved by somebody. It wasn't, I don't know if it was the status quo, because there's various moments where, you know, they made various people angry, not just on the right, but also on the left. It's so weird. I mean, I'm guessing he's choosing to go after them now because they aren't as good as they used to be, and apparently they've been bungling the COVID and the Trump stuff pretty hard. So they probably do deserve some critique when it comes to that, but just to disregard all of South Park since the 1990s as who were they really even what were they even being edgy with? I guess they were only allowed to be edgy. You know, they were only as edgy as they were allowed to be. It's so confused. It's like missing so much of the history and the culture. Because it's not like they had Twitter or 4chan in 1993 or whatever, or 94 when it came out. They weren't red-pilled people like me and you in the mid-90s because the internet wasn't really that useful. And nobody really thought in the right-wing terms that we do today. Very few people did. It's more of a super extreme kind of thing. Usually so extreme that it's kind of just theory extreme, you know, the same way communists do extreme things and believe extreme things, but they don't really like do anything in society or even in their own lives. They're just out there being extreme and doing extreme things. That's what the right wing was also doing. in the 90s or pretty much any time before this era where the politics has really evolved into something more. But yeah, I say here, I'm getting tired of the politically smarty pants shtick. Yes, everything is gay and fake, and you're the one who's always noticed. Not kidding. I'm getting tired of this with Sam. I'm getting tired of this with everybody. I don't give a fuck about political shit because I already know about it. And typically I already know more about it than the guy out there trying to be a talking head or a grifter, whatever you want to call it. Political talking head. It's like fuck, who cares, dude? It was well, there was something to care about when it wasn't so all-pervading. You could say Stone Toss is kind of close to status quo. Even though it's not like everybody believing what Stone Toss believes. There's a huge number that do. Like, he's not popular for no reason. You know, right-wing beliefs aren't so edgy that, you know, that Stone Toss is like still avant-garde. He's still important to, you know, his art is still important for its time, but is Stone Toss still pushing the envelope? No, not really. Is he saying things that haven't already been said? No. A big function of Stone Toss was being a comic maker who held our views. That was a big thing of MDE as well. That they are people who held our views and they went on and did art and then put it in their art. Not only that, but also made good art on top of that. I mean, we were so thirsty for any kind of media like that you know, there's hardly any stuff out there that agrees with us. So, you know, we love MD, we love Stone Toss, we love anybody that's even kind of right wing. And though we don't really live in we don't have an entertainment market or a content market where everybody's doing a right-wing thing. It's still pretty status quo-y, especially if you're online and you're with people who agree with you, and we all are. We all hang out with people who know what we're talking about and who agree with what we're talking about. Why would I continue to watch content that like just repeats what I believe back to me with a little bit of humor? If it's like a lot of humor and a lot of skill and a lot of art, you know, combined with what I believe in, that's perfect. If it's mostly like, look, here's something you believe in and that you agree with. Aren't you happy that somebody out there is your voice? Look, it's something you agree with and that you like. Aren't I good for bringing this to you? I'm smart for telling you things that you agree with. I'm smart because I preach to the choir. I don't know. It's just I think we were entering like an exhausted period where the stuff that had vigor in the past, you know, calling out the Jew, you know, calling out the blacks, political incorrectness, it's getting exhausted. The energy that had early on as something new and as like, oh, you know, they're not supposed to do that, that's dissipating because we're approaching status quo with it, or as close as you can be. And, you know, after that point, you know, it's, I think a lot of our based content creators or artists they might sink. They might not do so well in a world where their beliefs are the status quo. Because then it's mostly gonna come down to, like, you know, is the art good? Was there something really good made there? Or is it just, you know, repeating my beliefs back at me? I would like it to be, you know, the art up here. And maybe in the future we'll it'll be strange, but maybe art will be saved by something that has a little bit of libtarded in it. Because that's just the way you know, the cycles go, you know. The ebb and flow of politics. Maybe in the near future, something maybe a little left-leaning will be the new thing. And sometime after that, right-wing again, and sometime after that, left-wing again. Keeps on going and going, of course, it'll never end, but in this moment, yeah, seems like right-wing media is pretty stagnant. I mean, you could only call out the Jew for so long and have it be like something entertaining or worth watching. You only say the N-word so many times and have there not be some art under that, like, oh, he said the N-word. Oh, he called out the Jew. Hollow. Hollow nothing. And it's kind of nice that it is hollow nothing, because that means it's approaching status quo, and that means more and more people do casually agree with that. You know, it just means that as a focus or a focal point to art, or a focal point to avant-garde art, it's not anything anymore. There's no spirit there. And where will the spirit go after it has inhabited right-wing thought for a good while now? Who knows? It'll start maybe slowly manifesting in a new left-wing thing. Who knows what that'll be? I doubt it'll be political correctness. But really, we gotta watch how the world forms around Trump for us to see the next left-wing thing, and how that will develop. So it's too early to see that. Hopefully some right-wing artists out there, you know, take the status quo, they take the acceptance, and, you know, kind of move on from the political talking point and giving people what they want, and just making something fucking amazing, like mind-blowingly amazing, so amazing that I don't even care that he calls out the Jew or that he says the N-word. And something new and amazing can have that. But if that's all it is, you know, there's nothing there. South Park is Kino, he doesn't even know. Anthol gets it. Oh wait. Not in live chat here. Shitball weasels. Eating some pork pies right now. Nice, nice. Sounds tasty. Yeah. Alright, that's the first 16 minutes of this SNODWARS. I was gonna take a weed alert before firing into that, but oh well. Yeah, that's a thing I kind of have been struggling with, you know, since the right wing has been dominating. It's that the old guard is just kind of old and gay now. They're just still rattling off like they're fighting the same battles that we were fighting in 2015. It's like, no, dude, that's over. We won, and you gotta do something new. Oh, you're talking about Ben Shapiro and how bad he is in 2015? I mean, 2025, dude? Who watches the Daily Wire? I sort of watched it, like, when I was also watching Alex Jones and Jordan Peterson up until, you know, something really Israel heavy went in the news cycle, and I saw the Daily Wire go like super Jew mode and super anti-Christian mode. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like these guys. It was good to see like people on Twitter or 4chan know that Daily Wire, even though the face is conservative, like they're deeply Jewish underneath that. But people have known that for the past 10 or so years, 9 years. Why is Sam trying to be like, yeah, Ben Shapiro, I bet that's something Ben Shapiro believes. Is he even relevant anymore? Who gives a fuck? Lex Friedman? And yes, like, they both suck. But these people aren't fucking relevant anymore, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna kill Lex Friedman. Cool. That was kind of funny the first few times I heard that. Is it funny now? Not really. And I'm not saying, you know, oh, this stuff is popular. No, I gotta be a libtard because I'm a contrarian. No, I'm pretty much a right-wing person deep inside, but I'm also like a non-conformist. I got a big, strong disgust reaction to conformism or things that are boring, or things that are trite. And it's, I can't ignore it. Sure, it's maybe me being up my ass, but, you know, gotta stand for something. Gotta have some standards, even for the people that you like or agree with. So Sam Hyde, if you're hearing this out there, buddy, you need to be making some good things. You need to be making good art. I don't care that you think Jewish people are bad. I don't care if you want to kill Lex Friedman. Whoa, you're so cool because you want to kill Ben Shapiro. I bet you know what's going on in the world. I don't give a fuck about that, dude. Make something good. Something mind-blowing. I would very much like that. You know, we'll see if it happens, you know. I think most people are really happy with having their internet best friend or their favorite celebrity puppet back the stuff they already think. I think a lot of people enjoy that. And a lot of people pay money for that, you know. Sam could very well make a good living, you know, just being a grifter, political grifter for stuff that's passé. But you know, you would think, you know, in here he's an artist, but I think Sam is one of those artists that are an artist because they'd rather not work. Like, we know he's a rich kid, so he obviously hates work in some kind of aspect. And being an artist is just a way of not working. So he just does whatever he can to not have to punch a clock. And that means making dog shit, or debasing yourself, or just preaching to the choir. It is kind of sad, you know. Yo, what's up, Kimo? How you doing, my brother? Yeah, he has all the time and energy to make some good art. That is mind-blowing. So true. I wanted to autocorrect to mind-blowing. Oh, I wanted to correct mind-blowing to Weevil. That is really Weevil. Yeah, even Sam raging on weed, just sort of like, who cares? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we are pot smokers, and one could think, you know, oh, you don't like it. You don't like Sam saying that because you smoke weed, but no, like, even us who smoke weed, we know it's bad. We're not kidding ourselves, and most Zoomers, most people I find aren't really pot smokers. At least not like back in the day. So all these things he's like coming out with, the stuff from the Hyde Wars, and when the Hyde Wars came out, like that era, that's the perfect time for those talking points. And really, anything from the Sam Hyde show you'll find better in those Hyde Wars. There's a better dialogue, better energy to it because it was more fresh. No, the Sam Hyde show is stinky. Go watch Hyde Wars instead. But yeah, it seems Sam, you know, is just a guy who doesn't want to work. That's fine, you know, nobody wants to work. But think of an artist who, you know, doesn't really feel it. Think of an artist who isn't on fire and just does art because, you know, it's better than having a job. How much good art do you think that guy will make? Somebody who being an artist is just like a means to an end, you know. If I don't do this, I gotta go find a job. Instead of, you know, if I don't do this, it'll haunt me forever. And I can't not say no to doing it because it wants to be born. Yeah, he hates weed smirkers. But his own friends are like losers. That is true, yeah. At times it feels like some of those monologues, you know, are a way to direct it to, you know, the people around him, but you know, kind of fall on hollow ears. Hyde Wars was logged in, indeed it was. Literally tried to get fish tank viewers to escort themselves and give them drugs. Basically the company kinda somewhat looks bad on you. Yeah. So true. Yeah, Sam isn't the best on any of that front. Either keeping good company around or making good things, or just by the sheer force of Sam, just by the sheer force and the chaos within him, he's birthed a lot of Kina, undoubtedly. But it's just kind of hitting a wall. The genius of youth is leaving Mr. Sam Hyde. He was there for a while, but I think he's ready just to take a kick back, just kind of leave the spotlight. I think he would be good in like just being a director, like heading a show, heading a team of people who work on something, like making a show, like the South Park guys. Of course, they have a Comedy Central to rely on, but you know, at this age, you can make that much. You can make pretty close money, you know, off the gum road. But who knows how badly Sam has fucked up his financial situation. But it's mostly sad. Somebody who who seemed to be brilliant, just kind of like having a slip away from them. Especially if you're trying to be a role model or tell people how to be, but it happens to everyone. Nothing stays fresh forever. That's true. Yeah, you would think with everything Sam has around him, he would be like, you know what? Maybe I take a step back, and you know, maybe I shouldn't be on my high horse. You know, I got too much against me to be on my high horse, but it's also his mind. Like, I think his trove for creativity is like, what's something from the 2000s that I can lampoon into comedy? You can see that all over the, you know, world peace, you know, the lampooning of 2000s culture, which is funny. It hadn't really been done like that before, but you know, Fish Tank, you know, a lampoon of the Big Brother's reality TV type stuff, you know, Sam Hyde show, lampoon of a radio program, radio broadcasting maybe. Alex Jones maybe. It seems like a very small bucket of inspiration, like, oh, what's something from when I was growing up that I could make fun of? Howard Stern, maybe? I would like to see Sam do a Howard Stern program. Have it set up and bring in, you know, mentally ill people to debase themselves right in front of him. You know, not in a fish tank house. You know, maybe Sam could do a show where he tours the U.S. You know, driving cool cars and talking about cars, or maybe you could go antique shopping with Nick. That would be, hey, that would be something from the early 2000s, or like the Ghostbusters kind of thing. But yeah, I think I've said all I wanted to say there. Just kind of disappointed with Sam, because I do like to have hope for, you know, the people who make the Kino, but they're people just like anybody else. You know, they have faults. They get in the way of their art as well, which Sam is famous for doing. It's just weird. Speaking of South Park, because I was watching a whole bunch of South Park interviews, you know, with Matt and Trey, and some with just Trey. It's like, damn, these guys are fucking smart, like hardworking, smart people, and somehow pushing the envelope without getting fired. Well, you know, I'm guessing they didn't have that horrible of an HR department at Comedy Central in the 90s, like not unlike. Wait, no. You know, as opposed to the HR at Adult Swim in 2010, you know, much more, many more minds to step on for Sam and the boys. But I always wonder, like, why didn't Nick like go to Comedy Central, like, even to just like get a job? Why didn't Sam go to other people? Because I don't think the blacklisting was that real. Sure, you can be blacklisted on Adult Swim and maybe from being hired as an actor, but even like blacklisted from like Comedy Central or like from even another network, that I don't think that's real. It's so weird that they just didn't keep continuing on that. I mean, it would be super depressing just to have this thing you worked on be gutted and then you be blacklisted, you know, blacklisted. Why even try again? But lots of artists do, like, they keep trying and trying again. But not the MDE boys. It was just oh, they got us, you know, time to give up and just go our separate ways, and we'll never make art again. You know, very strange bunch of Rhode Island boys. Definitely did have some kind of spirit in them, but it wasn't a Parkian spirit. It wasn't a Matt and Trey kind of spirit. Very strange, very strange. Artists are weird, I guess. Yeah, they make the good things, but oftentimes the personal situation there is indeed a mess. Personal on what they want and what they choose and how they treat others, or even the opportunities they take or don't take. Yo, what's up, Alte? How you doing, my brother? Dear Elon Muskino, that was a cool one. Yeah, I kind of like the second one more because he was reading that philosophy book. He was trying to shit on it, but then he was like, oh, there's actually some good stuff in here. I think that's another big thing with Sam, is that he feels like he already knows everything, and really when you hear him talk, like, he's dumb. Sam's a dumb guy. You know, a lot of his intelligence just comes from being very sure, super sure about something you kind of heard about back in the day. And so when you see him on the Sam Hyde show, it just seems like a very bad Alex Jones, a very lazy. Even Fuentes is more on his shit than it seems like Sam is. It seems like Sam still thinks like, you know, we can't go online and learn more, way more than he knows. And I guess there are some people who are not as red-pilled as me, who are really getting their minds blown by Sam and Charles and stuff like that. Get fed up with artists, art, and shit. So true. Anyway, let me take a little weed alert so maybe I could get a little inspiration from doing drugs. That's what they're for. Last time me and Kimo were kind of talking about, well, he brought up how TikTok is now kind of like the way the normies get new music. That's very much true, you know. You know, those TikTok songs that get popular for 1 week, then they go away. How some of them can be like from this year, but a lot of them are mostly just older songs. And how you don't really see anything new breaking, because, you know, maybe it will break for a week, and, you know, some Zoomers and Gen Alpha will know about it, but after that point it's gone, replaced by something else. Maybe Ladyfingers by Herb Albert comes back, and that's suddenly bigger than the new thing. And yeah, I was talking about how well, he was saying how it seemed that hyperpop and such, you know, really modern trap music was set to overtake the world, and though it has, you know, it hasn't really in the mainstream, and that's mostly because the mainstream is like super controlled, more than it has in the past, because they make more money trying to shill, you know, their Sabrina Carpenter and whatever, than, you know, putting their money behind some artists that they don't know, who, you know, might overdose or be reckless or withhold money from the label. So even though trap and hyperpop and various of those styles are like big right now, you're not hearing them on the radio, you're not hearing them with Sabrina Carpenter or whatever, even though they are huge. And there's not really any radio culture for you to be like, oh yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, and then also Blady and 100 Gex. Yeah, that's what's popular right now. It's mostly just, you know, Bruno Mars, The Weeknd, Sabrina Carpenter. You would think that's what this generation would have to offer if you didn't know that that was just a fake shield. I'm happy the dudes in my band are chill. They just want to make music. You gotta get a TikTok, unfortunately. Art is so safe to the point it's fucking stale. So true. Though I would say what TikTok is and what Instagram is kind of fun. Just another way to interface with being an artist. Though I don't do it really. Besides posting my art on Instagram or a video of me playing guitar on Instagram. Don't really have much of a social media presence. I don't really see how that could help me. Unless I paid. You'll get a TikTok, pay them to show your video out there, and I guess that would be a good thing. 100 gigs are from my area of the map. Sweden? I thought they were European or something. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about these things in terms of, well, we were talking about like the stagnant quality of music, how there hasn't been anything new maybe since hyperpop, like 100 gex and all those kind of super online micro genres that are like maximalist. That's probably been the newest thing. And I guess it didn't really take off because, you know, the mainstream is being populated by Sabrina Carpenter and The Weeknd. Though it's still huge, probably one of the biggest genres right now. You wouldn't really know it unless you're an online person or someone who makes art. Are they from the Midwest? Huh. Weird. Did my comment get censored? Probably. Flick in between live chat and top chat if you want to see if your comment stuck around. Hey, thank you motherfuckers for the likes and the retweets. Really enjoyed on my pontificating. Oops, I was gonna have that open. Oh yeah, 4chan got nuked. Oh well. It already been dead for long time. And back when Moot sold that server, it was pretty well known that it was sold to the feds early on. So to find out there were some mods who were literally federal agents, that's not all that surprising. But yeah, been pretty much dead, you know. Back in the day, you could go to Moo and find out what was going on musically, anything cool and new, but it was super dead there. And I'm hoping there's somebody else, somewhere else where they're talking about new music, because there was nothing new being talked about there. Barely even any of the modern trap stuff was being talked about. I guess sometimes X could still be good, but yeah. You know, it is an end of an era, but truly, it had been dead for quite a while. You could say it was kneecapped or restricted. I feel like the political fervor of 2016 kind of took over everybody's brain. You would also see politics in the paranormal boards, which is kind of annoying. A lot of derailing going on with the political brain taking over. But yeah, I guess rest in peace, you know. I first went on there in 07. I learned a lot of Kino, a lot of cool information. And now I just know I could use the internet in general for that. But it was a neat place to have all of that together in one place, at least for a time. So true, Anthol. Just toss him into the volcano. The Brappy Hog. Alright, let me take this weed alert for real now. Wait. The homies are here, gonna go play loud and shitty music, get ear damage. Let's go. Shout out to Idle Planet. They rule. But yeah, I think one of the main points I wanted to make about Sam and the approaching status quo of right-wing thought is that censorship kind of does embolden bad art, to be honest. Like when they were telling the chuds, us, that we can't say stuff or whatever, that did influence a lot of the art that was made, you know, in the past 10 years. Which was nice to see. And, you know, as a rebellion, as a fuck you. But for a lot of artists, it seems that, you know, right-wingers, they think that's the art. You know, that's the avant-garde. That's the thing, that's the spiel, not... Like, making something good isn't important. What's important is telling the libtards they're wrong. What's important is red-pilling the audience. What's important is me red-pilling the audience, because I'm smart. And I'm here to red-pill people. That's what art is. And that happened with left-wing art too. When you had super tyrannical, authoritarian government in other places, you get a shitty left-wing art in protest. You know, that's kind of what Dada was a little bit. You know? Same with the other forms of abstract art, because they thought they had rules impinged upon them that they had to break. But then it became too much about breaking the rules and not making something that was good. That happened to the left wing too. And it's been happening to the right wing. But hopefully people will deal with these things, you know, kind of evaluate themselves and be like, you know, what am I really doing this for? Am I doing it to repeat talking points to my friends, people who already agree with me? Or is something magical and divine trying to give birth through my brain? Hopefully it's that second one. Yeah, censorship kind of emboldens bad art sometimes. Give birth through my anus. Whoa. Right now, weed alert for real. 40 minutes of I'm gonna take a hit of weed. You watch. Oh, okay. My bad, forgot about the chat box because we were on D-Live last night. This 4chan hack is proved the dead internet theory in reality. Intelligence agencies posting gay porn to derail based discussions. So true. Fucking flooding the site with dog shit goonery. But yeah, that's something that you would kind of notice. A lot of derailing. It may not exactly, you know, porn, but like I said, on like in the paranormal forums, having shit be derailed by two people, two Annans going at it politically. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? It's totally shit up the thread. There's many ways of doing that, but you know, if you're the federal government and you have access to 4chan, you know, you're gonna do that. You're gonna try to sway the chuds, or at the very least, you know, stick a wrench in their activities. I mean, good on us for going somewhere else in that meantime, you know, Twitter, which had its own problems, but you know, the spirit of anarchy and chaos, it has to go somewhere, it has to spurt out somewhere. Even the feds can't keep that down. But yeah, rest in peace, 4chan. You done good. Alright. Well. Unless you guys have anything else to talk about, I think I pretty much said all I wanted to. I don't know if I want to keep streaming on YouTube because they've been very shitty. Just fucking striking me like no tomorrow. But at least now we know they can let us do a bit of a philosophizing. 4chan's deleted, it's gone. Now it's gone. Well, we'll still have those memories. I will. We'll talk about the keynote that we found there for many ages to come. It takes time. It's alright, buddy. You could call it quits. I don't think there's a hole in our hearts or in the internet for 4chan. Like, that time has passed, you know. All the sneeders and snodders, you know, left to various other places a long time ago. And we're proliferating there, whether it be Twitter or Discord or private forums. We gotta go out there like nomads and bring the spirit of the frogs to every corner of the internet. Like, interesting when you pay attention to what's been happening ever since that USAID money has been drying up. Weird much. Archives are still there, at least. From what I've heard, it's like you cannot go past 2015, 16. Like, somehow they lost the archives from way before that, which to me would be the only archives worth saving, to be honest. But that's fine, you know. It's all fleeting. And then on an anonymous form, the posts are deleted all the time. Yeah, it's gonna be that fleeting nature. But we're gonna keep being based and being sneedy. You know, a few years ago, they would say, they wouldn't want to stop us so bad if the fight was pointless, or if the fight was already lost. And that is true. It's nice to see the pendulum swing back and seeing them lose for real, because the battle wasn't over with or decided. I mean, besides on the level that, good will win. Or good, I guess, let's say. It's great to be living in the future of 2015. Even though things on a content level are getting redundant. Blah blah blah, complaining. It is nice to have these things slipping into the status quo. I think we should all acknowledge that and be happy. Of course, it's not gonna be heaven. It's not gonna be 100% free of Mossad or Jewish or this and that, blah blah blah. Never. That's never gonna happen. Is it gonna get better than the past few years? Yeah. So we might as well enjoy ourselves as it does. Here we are, the masters of the universe. Whoa, whoa. So true. But yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here. I think maybe later I'll go live on D-Live and we'll do some more One Piece. We're watching the One Piece fan edit that Anthol told me about. It's pretty cool. Starts at the beginning, which I'd never seen before. And on the 4Kids showing, they started off at what appears to be the second episode of this one. Where's that pink-haired kid and then the fat lady with the club? That was the first episode in the American dub. With Luffy floating in the sea in that barrel. But yeah, the sub is great too. I think they really took the pirate idea to heart, and the voice actor they got for Zoro really sounds like nobody else I've heard in an anime. They could have given him just like a normal anime, like hotel kind of thing. But Zoro's voice actor has like a weird, like a vocal fry Japanese, like gambler or like partier kind of thing. Like kind of like a comedian, like voice kind of thing. I'm interested to see what the choices for the other pirates will be. Yo, what's up, Perry? How you doing, my brother? I'm just about to wrap it up here, actually. Unless you want something to dialogue about. Zorak the goat? No. Zoro. That's from One Piece. Not Zorak from from Space Ghost. Though he is cool too. It'd be cool to have a show where they switch the two. Yeah. I guess I'll chill here a bit. Yeah, as long as they're not, what would be a good term? Because copyrighted, when that's copyright green screen comes up, it's not like it's not like a strike on my channel, not a legit strike. But just like, you're playing bad content, you're violating a rule, stream down. Yeah, as long as they don't take down the stream, I think I could chill for a bit here. They've been taking it down like crazy. It would be like one thing that's not okay, and then every single thing after that, it's not okay. Very weird. Gotta watch Fongle, Red Rock's farewell show. Also, I found a cool interview with Simon and Raj. Nice. Yeah, I'll check that out on DLive. I'll share the link to you, Perry, on Instagram. We were watching some One Piece the other day. But yeah, on DLive we could watch anything very comfortably. As I was just saying, I don't want to try anything too crazy here, because these Jeets have been, heavy-handed lately. Also, I showed Perry and Anthol yesterday, but here's a new puppy we got. It's Russia. Oh, yeah. Chemo was there too on the first. They're a funny girl. I think she's actually pretty well behaved. She's a little feisty at times, but she does pay attention when you tell her, like, no, or stop. This link here. Oh shit. Let me check it out. That this'll fry. Possibly. We could try it out, I guess. Though if the stream goes down, I'll probably just end it right there.
Well, so here we are at your rehearsal studios.
Where is it?
Preparing.
Oh yeah, also this is a SNODWARS. It's not a typical chill stream, so... Well, let's give it a try. Yeah, it's more of a dialogue stream. Which just means it was me talking, mostly. But I already got what I wanted to talk about off my chest here.
For the big Spangle live event. So, how's it going?
Oh, that was the sound of a tired man right there.
It's like
I can
eternity. It's like we were born in this studio, we lived in this studio, we're dying in this studio, and we're being reborn on Friday night. Isn't it?
It is. It's a kind of a pretty windowless existence right now.
Yeah, it's hard to tell night or day or the scene.
We'll let it play. Maybe I'll add a bit of... Maybe something good dialogue about for a little bit longer here.
Sorry?
How many people are in the band?
Well, it's a bit like an elastic band, it stretches. And,
Yeah, oh, you're good, man, you're good.
at the moment, there's about 12 people in the room. I don't
The
quite know what
SNODWARS
we're
stream
doing.
is a
They're all
fairly new
playing, and
occurrence.
they're going to be on the stage. It's a lot of musicians.
And if you two wasn't being so
We have, well,
stringent
today
with me...
we have myself, on guitar and computers, you on flute, Dexter on...
If YouTube wasn't being so horrible, I would be open for any kind of video to, because a video could also stir conversation. But if anything, we'll try it out right now. Maybe as long as it doesn't include music. Because it was music last time. It was anything video and music. And then after we would come back, it would be music that would get us the shut down. Very weird. But this is an interview. Maybe it's good.
Two surprises, two
Let's try that.
dancers and singers in diaphanous white robes and things like that, which nobody even knows about. We haven't
even met them yet.
We haven't even met them, but they're coming also in the next day or so. So there will be quite a conglomerate on the stage.
Sounds fabulous. It was very exciting. So have you guys done any previous live gigs before?
We have. We've done two in Japan and one that we don't speak about.
Ooh.
The unspeakable.
The unmentionable.
The unmentionable.
Why is it unmentionable?
It was in Israel.
Whoops. We've let it out now. It could be war. What have you done? You said you were going to call it X. All right. It was in Israel. Yeah. What happened?
We had a beautiful venue booked and all the sound crew and everything. It was all booked and it was going to be fantastic. Suddenly at the last minute the venue changed and we should have really pulled out right there and then. But under heavy persuasion from the Israeli mafia, Mossad or whatever they're called. Was it Mossad?
Mossad.
The mafia. And
Whoa, no.
we decided to carry on and we did it in this horrible sort of venue that stank of urine.
You are going to play. You are going to play the Cytrans, or we're going to kill you.
We really didn't enjoy it. The sound was awful, and we didn't.
It's a bit like a trip, really. The place and the setting and the time is all important. You may have your music together, but if it's not really in the right circumstances and making people feel good about themselves and the place and the spirit, it doesn't work. And that's why we're so excited after Mount Fuji in Japan, which was sensational. That was our first Bongal gig. And now we're here in London, our hometown, right in the center at the Roundhouse.
London.
And it's very exciting to be able to represent the show.
And also we got a lot more musicians this time. Last time it wasn't the full band. We didn't have a drummer. We didn't have a bass player.
And we didn't have the volume of work that we've written since then.
No.
So all in all, we're very excited, and though it's taken a lot of preparation, and with the great support of Twisted Records and Simon Holton and yourself, dear Serena. it's
Yeah, such a me sometimes that you forget that it is a mafia.
Pulling this show together,
As in like criminals, organization. With a veneer of
Amazing live band.
government,
Come together. What is the
intelligence, whatever.
and your future idea?
A veil of
Depends how the show goes.
officialty.
We haven't killed each other by then.
No, we don't argue.
But really it's
Just
mafia.
don't talk for you. No, that's not true.
That's not true for you.
Yeah, no.
I can't imagine that.
There's always a set of circumstances.
Always good to remember why.
Problems to overcome.
Remember that when you consider, hey, why hasn't anybody dealt with these people?
Everybody right now is rather difficult to talk about.
Yeah,
But
that would be real violence, real war.
we've got
And there's not just one mafia in the world. There's like many competing ones, many competing
working on that.
agencies.
And everything's looking fantastic. We want to go ahead and keep improving.
As to why one hasn't wiped out the other, or
Yeah.
one hasn't wiped out all of them. Like that's probably why.
Album. And if the gig goes really well, then we'll probably do some more shows.
But we've had lots of offers over the last few years, but we never really.
Once you get to the level of real violence and real death
Ready. And now it's a bit
between
like a tree
two powerful
fruit
people,
to be plucked.
it's more about
We're ready.
like, okay, you do that thing, we do this thing.
So what's the inspiration been for this new album?
And of course, just as a veneer, just as a veil, you know,
I
you're
don't
gonna,
know
if you're two criminal organizations, you're gonna keep
would you say? I mean,
trying to get that other person,
life,
no matter what,
the life we lead,
however slyly you do it.
the people we meet, the books we read.
And that's the soft battle happening all the time,
So you better make your life as interesting as possible.
with the innocent civilians being caught in the middle.
Well, you actually went to India for the first time, right?
I did, first time, after making all this, what they call Goa trance. I didn't make it to Goa, but I made a step in the right direction and went to India.
Did you make it to the trance?
I didn't make it to the trance, no, unfortunately.
But where did you make it to? What happened?
Well, we went to...
The mic's really quiet on the other dude for some reason.
City, where they have the lake, where you can cleanse your colon with amoebas, and
I must remember that.
cleanse your aura. That was amazing. Pushkar was amazing.
Ah.
Jaipur we went to as well, and the same place.
It was basically about
for the album cover.
well, my end point of wrapping it up was
Album cover.
how censorship kind of emboldens bad art.
Sort of Eastern flavor to your music. So
Like with an example being
imagine you going there.
Stone Toss and MD, like bad art.
That didn't sound
Of course they're
It's
good,
having to sort of, you know,
but
and kind of get into
when you have art that's
the earth of the environment. That's just them.
inspired
yeah.
in that
Listen
way,
to-
you know,
to a lot
a
of
bit,
Indian
like it's
music.
saved by it being
A lot of
good art,
Indian
and it's not
sounds in our music.
really so
Yeah, to
important
actually go
because,
there
you know,
and
you're
record the musicians.
saying the truth, or in my case, like repeating the things I already believe right back at me. And that's kind of where like MDE and Stone Toss, etc., are right now, where they're just kind of coasting off the audience who already agrees with them, with very little
Right, we
happening
went to
on the
Jaipur,
art
we went
front.
to, we got a
And how
workshop
that's,
right, so we need some musicians. We need to
And how that's the
record
thing
some
that also
musicians.
happened with
And,
the left wing.
"Ah,
back in the
my
day,
cousin
you know.
has a music shop."
When you would have authoritarian
So
governments
we went to his
prohibiting
cousin's music shop, and they had a whole
people from making that kind of art or this kind of art, so they
and
kind
got
of,
them to
they're
bring
like,
down each
oh
one, "What
yeah,
about this
you don't
one
want me to
and
make
one?"
this?
And they'd bring in
Here's some
musicians
very
to play it.
horrible, ugly art.
This guy came in
Because he told me I couldn't make this.
and,
Here's Dadaism, which I like. I like Dadaism, but
he was torturing a cat.
that was one of the,
And,
it was kind of a reaction against those kind of
actually, I
governments
And
or people,
said, "Oh, well,
or yeah,
what's
governments
he
that
doing then?" And he
told him not to do
burst out.
something,
He was
and
incredible, this guy, the most amazing sound, amazing.
they kind of use that to power their art, which, you know, not to say it can't make good art, but if you get to the point where like you care more about reiterating this truth of like, no, fuck you, or like, no, you're wrong, once that becomes more important than the actual thing, than making something amazing, then it's bad. And it doesn't matter if it's Dada or Sam Hyde or Stone Toss, you know.
One Chennai player.
I would say I would love them
Tried to do the same thing, put the
because of
headphones on
the
him. He
great
was
art they
so
make,
congruent
and
with
it's
this guy who
even better that, of course, you know, deep down, the lessons they're teaching are stuff that resonate with me or that I agree with.
he clearly had never worn.
But it seems the status quo is coming around
playing in time
to where, you know,
through his ears was a complete mystery.
you can't coast on the avant-garde
to the backing track.
of those sayings anymore, like you could
Will still be, well,
10 years ago,
a little back
or even 5 years ago.
We'll use it somehow.
Well, Raj, what is the
Like, art's always the most important thing,
energy like?
and the thing of it, the amazing
I mean, you are
profundity of it, not so much the ideological side being espoused or repeated or grifted. But yeah, that's basically what the topic was, and those were the examples I was using. Oh, I gotta pee real quick. I'm gonna watch a bit of this video, a bit more of it, the interview I mean. But I gotta pee. Raj is like 80 and still a raver, damn. If I live that long, I want that to be me. I'm based. Always hated ambient music, with exception of a few in my life, but psych ambient has been speaking volumes to me lately. Nice, nice. Yeah, I was never too big on ambient either. Or any kind of long form music like that, to be honest. Not even Brian Eno. Well, actually, when Brian Eno did that album with Robert Fripp, that was pretty key, Some 10-minute tracks on it that are pretty dope. But yeah, besides that, not much. Only when I've been checking out Ferraro that I really get into the ambient stuff. I mean, it is nice to have a kind of a concept to go along with it that isn't just you know, like peace or tribal or fucking or I don't know, ritual. Whoa, spooky ritual. This one has a bit of a tropical thing going for it. Tribal. Nirvana, Body of Consciousness, Ugia to Jeep by Iguana Greenwave. But yeah, besides Ferraro, what have I been listening? Oh, just the System of a Down. Some more System of a Down. That first album is so fucking awesome. Fucking jams on that motherfucker. Besides that, not much. Just kind of keeping my ear open for my Helmet. This Jane Addictions footage is so fucking badass. Just kind of looking at footage actually of bands playing Smashing Pumpkins. Since I'll be playing with my band live later this month, I get some inspiration. Yeah, watching bands play live in the 90s, Sleep, just to get a real feel of inspiration. Really been paying attention to drummers. It's like, damn, even some of these like whatever kind of bands have great drummers. You kind of have to have a great drummer just to even be like a middle of the road band. Early Mastodon, no. I've known about Mastodon for a long time. I don't know why I never got around to checking them out. I've just heard a few snippets here and there over the years. They seem pretty cool though. With that heavy, very sludgy kind of metal. The Leviathan album is nuts, bro. Damn. Yeah, I'll check that one out. Muscle Mommy. Oh yeah. And this giant Budweiser can, Muscle Mommy. In Hawaii, I guess. Maui Blackout, Liquid Spring Break Skeletons. This one's kind of ambienty, but it's got some kind of like lo-fi pop tunes in there as well. Kind of like Ariel Pink. She's scurry. Yeah, she's really happy over her giant. She's really proud of the giant Budweiser can. Santana and Beato beat off. What? No, square off. Okay. Wonder what this is gonna be like. Look at Anthony. Look at the face on it. He's so scared. He's like, oh, okay, I can't say anything. But Rick's over here like, yeah, I'm fucking dominating. Gonna dominate this fucking millennial fag here. And I think, oh yeah, Fantano has interviewed Beato before. They seem to be alright with each other, but the Melonhead made a video about like why Rick Beato is wrong, and how when Beato was talking about how there's no new music, and and Fantano was like, no, actually there has been new music. And he did the thing where he like pulled up artists from 10 years ago or like 15 years ago as new. But yeah, I wonder what happened to these two since then. Kind of want to check this out.
Hey everybody, I have the.
I don't know if well, I've watched Beato in the past on my channel, but and actually, no, I won't try it. Forget it. What I will do though. Oh shit. Bro, the Lacey show was gas. Hell yeah, bro. Good to hear you had a good time, man. But yeah, as I said, I'm gonna be wrapping it up here. I'll let you guys know when I go live on D-Live later for some more One Piece, or I also kind of wanted to play Don't Mess with the Zohan, which is kind of a good movie. It's a cheesy movie, but it's kind of good. Checking those archive.com movies. Should be a cool, fun time. Thank you all for chilling. Thank you, Perry, for chilling. And for those recommendations, I'll be checking out at Leviathan. Thank you, Scroat, Anthol, Alte was in here, Chemo was in here. Thanks for joining me and hearing me rambling for a good hour right there. Really, the SNODWARS has been over for the past 20 minutes. Well, that's okay. Hell yeah, thank you, Perry. I'll see y'all later. Peace.